Sure. So in setting up the problem of knowing that we are in this time of crisis, we have some place to go on the other side of this. And talking about what are the tools that we need to get there. Who are we? How do we know? Why does it matter? How do we think about this in concrete terms? How do we actually execute against this right now? What does this look like in action?
Sure. So I think execution and activation for us in athletics, right? Man, we love a good policy and procedure. That's right, put it in a manual, set it down for everybody, let people follow the steps. I think that that's something that we're all really comfortable with. I think big vision, it's a lot more, one, the sense of urgency of doing it now. So when I say, right, the new normal is, it's coming. And I want to be the one pouring the water. I don't want to let somebody else dictate the new normal for me. And so deciding what that mission is, deciding what the vision is, everybody has one, right? I don't know that we have athletic directors who are just, casting their fate to the wind and saying, well, we all have a vision for the department. We all have a vision for how we want to develop student athletes. We all have a vision for what we want it to look like sitting in the big chair. And I think the difference is how intentional are we about not just casting the vision for everybody, but talking about how we execute that vision on smaller levels. So do our coaches know how to communicate that value? Is it what we've said the value is, or is it what each of them has decided the value is? Because I think at this time, not that we don't trust coaches or staff members, and I'll say I speak as somebody who has a really exceptional staff, and I have some coaches that are very, very good at this. Executing is a lot more about understanding that whatever the vision and the identity are, when we decide what that value looks like for us, being able to communicate through that lens of value all the time, no matter what. And I think a great example is, so I have been at St. Xavier for about 7 months now, almost 8. And one of the things that I was tasked with in coming in, one of the big year one goals was to really kind of overhaul and create cohesion around athletics development. So creating a culture of philanthropy that was a little more department-wide. We had some coaches that were doing a really good job, but we needed a bigger identity, right, as a department of St. Xavier Athletics. And so we've been working on this for a few months, and working with our development office, we had finally gotten to a point where we were launching our new identity, and it's called our overarching philanthropic umbrella is called the Legends Fund. So we were launching the Legends Fund, and we were doing this in conjunction with our advancement office, building up to we call it the We Are SXU Day. So it's our day of giving on March 25th. And so on March 11th at 6 a.m., the Legends Fund launch happened. And if anybody knows, March 11th at 11 a.m., all NCAA playoff games were canceled. And then, on March 12th, we canceled spring seasons. And so we really went from this, we were excited, we had a plan, we knew our 5-year fundraising plan, like we had all of this in step, and then we launched the Legends Fund and COVID-19 happened. And so it kind of, what do you do? And a big thing that really helped us was in building out the brand of the Legends Fund and aligning that with where we were going as a department, we were still communicating around the value of relationships. So the ways that we were measuring the initial launch of Legends Fund, yes, absolutely, we want dollars, and it's our job to fundraise and support our operating budgets, and all of those things matter. But our initial measurement of the success of the launch was around unique participation. And so not just how much money we raised, but how many people we were going to get involved. And so because we had already been talking about it kind of through that lens, and about people, joining our team and wanting to be a part of this exciting new thing that we were doing, we went radio silent for about 7 days, trying to figure out how do we regroup from that. And what we really pivoted to was being able to say, this is more important now than ever. So we sent out an entire new communication the 2 days before the actual day of giving. And it was like, listen, this is crazy. We know that everything has changed. We know that everything is different. We know that, how we talked about this launch and how we've been building this up for the last couple of months and whatever this looks like, this isn't what any of us planned. But because we've been talking about getting people involved and wanting to be a part of something, we still need to be on our team now more than ever. I shot some videos to specific teams and donors and alums, and we were basically like, we don't want your money. We want your Netflix subscription. We want $5. We don't want big gifts. I don't want big donations. Like, you don't know what's going to happen. We don't know what's going to happen. And being really authentic in that space of striking the right tone, not of we still want your dollars or forget it, nobody knows what's going to happen. We still have a vision. We're still going to do all of the things we said we're going to do. We still have, this big theme, and we're still a part of this team. We didn't raise a lot of dollars. We did, though, generate more impressions from unique athletic identities than we had in the last institutional giving day the year before. And our participation rates over 5 new teams are up. And I'm writing handwritten thank you notes for people who donated $5. And I don't know, how many times I've done that, but I think being able to see the big vision has enabled a little bit of intestinal fortitude around pivoting to long-term, because these aren't people that are going to give us money in 4 months. But hopefully they're going to be on our team for the next 4 and 5 years. And as we come out of this, whatever it looks like, I hope that what people are saying about us is the same things that we're saying about us now, which is, this is who we've always been, and this is how we've always done it, no matter what. And I think a lot of that is really just, again, because we can talk about, we're very clear about what the vision is, and we're very clear about what the value of that is.
So to your point, there's a short-term, immediate, oh my gosh, we need to pivot and do something else. But there's also a long-term idea in here as well. It's not just about responding to the immediate moment, which is important, but setting up for whatever will be on the other side. Is that fair to say?
For sure. And believe me, I'm sick to my stomach saying that, like, we don't want your money. That, I'm sure, just made everybody a little bit who's on the call. But it's not an easy thing to do. But I think, again, when we talk about the action that we're taking now isn't to mitigate right now. Hopefully we've already done that. The action we're taking now is because who we want to be in 6 months is about who we are now. And if we wait until we come out and we wait until we see what happens, it's going to be very, inauthentic. People aren't going to connect to, well, you did this because everybody else did it. I think we see that on social media a lot. One thing that I've talked to a lot of our staff about in our athletics communication team, and I video conference just about every other day, is we don't want to do something just because somebody else is doing it. Not because it's not a great idea. And Lord knows in athletics, like, that's great coaches, great administrators are people who steal great stuff. But because if it's something that we don't do, and this is not how we talk about ourselves, then us doing it for the sake of saying we put one more thing out there, we got one more click, we got one more impression, starts to ring false. And people don't make real connections with that. They just see it, and it's not the same thing.
Thanks for watching. If you'd like to get more great sports branding videos from Hartwell Studio Works, hit the subscribe button on the right of your screen. I'll look forward to seeing you next time.